right. Anyways, we got Nerdy Gnome playing on Pariso, playing some Bap and Moira. Some PC gameplay. Says need some feedback on this. This game was hell in a handbasket. One of our DPS couldn't stop arguing, the other couldn't stop dying. In the end, a couple times I made the wrong call, but I don't know if maybe I'm thinking too deep on it. I have in my head where I think I screwed up, and I guess we'll see. Let us see. King's Row not the vibe it used to be. Not with single tank. No. One tank. King's Row kind of. It's all right. It's still fun, but it's not. It's not what the great map it used to be. I need to order some red hats and make King's Row great again on it. All right, let's just start out with, this is just not a smart place to play. It's a BAP. Even though you have your jumpers, this is like, if you get pushed, you got nowhere to go, dude. Nowhere. This is just bad positioning. The fact that you live right now blows my mind. That shot was actually huge, though.
Yo, we got a G in the chat.
That shot was huge. I love that. I love refrigerators. Let's watch this again, by the way, because this is exactly what bites you in the ass. He's got nowhere to rotate. Huh. It's almost like if we were positioned on the high ground closer to the point where we normally rotate to, we would still be alive. Wow. Thank you, man. Shakes, I can't tell you thank you enough, man. It's been a hot minute since we had a big donut like that. Thank you, dude. Bringing back the nostalgia. Okay, we switched to the Moira. Not good, but not necessary. You know. All right, here we go. It's good positioning here, though. I like this. Good healies. Playing it. Yep, just doing your thing. Like the pressure on the tracer, or at least trying to go for it. We're playing out in the open point. Don't really need to be doing that right now. Good kill, though. Following up on that. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, Moira pick's pretty good. I don't think the BAP swap was necessary. I think that was like a little band-aid to what your issue was before, which is just positioning. BAP's not like a bad choice, especially when you're running the Sojourn and the Orisa. So I actually talked about I talked to someone about this before we started doing VODs today, which is, as a support, there's too many supports I know that like do the default swap to Moira the moment they get like pressured by dive. And I think it's just a bad habit to get into. Like, Moira's not like, she's more survivable, but you're giving up a lot of utility for that swap when you play her. So again, she's not bad. She's good against this. But just like, don't get in the habit as a support player of just automatically switching to Moira when in reality it was just your positioning was shit. You know what I mean? I like this Coalescence. Yeah, if there's any chance you win it. Okay, now she's gone. Now she's big gone. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. I like the commit there. If there's any chance you guys winning that point with Orisa ult, is with Coalescence. So I have no problem with the commit. Thank you guys for the hype train, by the way. We're rolling out. Thank you guys for the choo-choo train. We're rolling out. All right, good fade here. Like that we save that fade for when we get pressured. Always use it to reposition when we get dove. All right, we're healing the enemy. All right. Cool. What I liked about this, even though like your team was getting rolled, what I really liked about that was that the fact that no matter what, you weren't wasting your fade. Like you didn't need to fade to back out a lot, so you walked. And then the moment they committed and actually used like jump or dash or whatever, that's when you'd fade out. And that's kind of how you need to use these abilities as a support is if you're not getting actively pressured, you're not using fade. You can just walk to where you're going. Especially if you're in range of somebody actually being able to dive you. You never want to waste that fade, which is what Nerdy did great here, is that just pressed S key, backed up, monkey jumped. That's when he faded out. And it's backed up. That's kind of how you need to hold on to this. I see way too many people wasting their fade and rotating, and then monkey's like, oh, Moira's down her fade. Now I can just like jump on her now, and then she won't be down. So. Blade comes out. Good healing orb there to support the Genji Blade. This is a really nice choke for you guys to play into, especially if the dive's going to take you here. No real need to push past this. Cool. All right. Nicely done. So, coming up on Cole. We'll probably want to... I'd probably use it to combo with the Orisa ult again. As we've seen from the last fight, is that she gets burst down pretty quick. Even if they're running dive, they do a pretty good job at focusing down your Orisa. So if you're looking for a reason to use it, unless you're going to use it to counter maybe like the monkey ult or something, just see how they play this. Love it. Yep, they commit the Coalescence. Oh, and you coming in. Getting a little short-sighted here. I'm all for chasing people that you're actually gonna be able to kill, but one of the strengths of Moira's Coalescence is that it does collateral damage. You really need to be looking for opportunities to where you can hit multiple targets at once. It just increases your value in that fight by so much, because it puts more pressure on their supports to heal more targets and gives more sustain for your team. I kind of wasting the opportunity, especially when you're playing in a high intensity choke like this one. Wasting that to just go chase the other Moira that's also coalescing, you're not going to kill. Like, neither of the Moiras are going to kill each other through that. They both got too much sustain. It doesn't do enough burst damage to kill a Moira through that. Just a wasted opportunity. Think about it in terms of value. Very seldomly, unless maybe you're chasing down a Pharah or a Mercy or something, is a good opportunity to use it. But moments like that, you really do want to try to get that sustain with the Coalescence. I love this skin, dude. How did all of you guys finish your battle passes so quick? God damn, I'm like on page 7. Pay to win, baby. Okay. Hard committing with our team here. We're kind of brawling this out, so I'm okay with you playing a little bit closer. Probably should have been a healing orb, but that's fine. Kind of just giving up on your Life Weaver. Which is honestly probably the play here. Yeah, honestly probably the play. Taking 2 supports out of a fight, because Monkey, that's going to get him a lot of value. So that was a really smart play. Let your Life Weaver die, just sustain your front line, take the fight up there. It was really good. Another Coalescence. I'm okay with this. Prevents them from pushing up with the window, counter and econ wise. She matches it, forces that out. You fade out. Love this. Play more passively now that they've got the advantage with ult economy. We walk forward into the monkey and we're down our fade. I see what you're doing there, but again, just playing safe. With dive, you really do need to save that fade for moments like this. I don't think this was a bad fade, right? With the Coalescence, we fade that out, and then we push back up into here. But the moment we see that monkey, we really do got to be. That's like our priority number 1. You see how quickly you go down when monkey's chasing you like that? I like this rotation here too inside. This is nice. Them running dive, they're much less effective indoors than you guys running more of like kind of the brawly type comp of the Orisa and the Moira. So I think it's pretty smart to play in there. Dive is so much less effective inside. Good focus here. Oh, we wasted an aggressive fade. We get a pick with it though. Good Moira tracking. And I was saying this earlier too. Even though like people say like Moira doesn't take a lot of aim, which again she's more forgiving on her aim, she still requires a decent amount of tracking to be able to follow targets and maximize her value. So there definitely is a skill cap thing to Moira's aim. Don't underestimate how important it is to actively be aiming with her right click to actually be able to finish off targets. Every single little moment that you can get on that, it's going to improve your ability to consistently get picks if you're always actively tracking with her. I know a lot of people tend to like turn their brains off and just aim generally in the direction. You really do got to track that target to make sure there's not a single moment where you're not doing damage to them. It's really, really important. If you watch high-level Moira players, dude, the moment they're right-clicking, they are like actively tracking that target. It does take a little bit of effort to hit that. So, all right, let's check out attack. Sends in the damage orb. Like that your monkey's playing passive here. It's good for you. They at least know how to not die immediately. Fades out for the live. Good job rotating around the corner here to make sure you don't take damage as you're approaching. Take the high ground here. Pick a target, please. Pick a target. Yeah, if you're going to pressure with that right click, there really is no reason to balance between two targets. Unless one of them's pocketing the other one. Just pick a target and go for it, especially like the squishies. Pick one and just farm it, like consistently pressure. Like that's gonna be your best bet on getting eliminations on Moira. Okay, we are just wow. All right. At least from what I can tell from this push, you weren't really doing this too much last round, but this push especially, dude, you are just laying on that healing. Like laying it on there. And I'd say probably one of the more important habits to get in as a Moira player is doing your tap healing. Moira's healing, it doesn't only heal when you're shooting it. It actually has like a little grace period, like a residual healing. So like when you heal it, even like there's like a half of a second after you stop healing that it still heals. So to like properly and efficiently use Moira's healing, so you're not wasting it, you can just tap heal. Like so, track and tap heal go. So you get that little bit of time in between each spurt, and it actually like gets you more. So like your timer doesn't go down when you're not pressing it, but you can get constant healing. So when you tap like that, you're actually doing like full healing the entire time. You're just using less resources to do it. It's a good habit to get into, especially if you need to heal up people very quickly, like a single target. Good Coalescence here too. I like it. We were on the advantage, but it's Coalescence is such a quick ultimate to give, and I love that you use that to secure and make sure 100% you got that point. Completely okay with that. That's like a really objective focused mindset with ults. Like even if you guys are like kind of on the advantage, there's still like a chance that the other team can win. Using an ultimate like Coalescence, which isn't like a super hard ultimate to build up, to just 100% make sure, okay, we're gonna win this point. It's very smart. It's much better to do that than not use it and then them actually be able to regroup and win the point. So good job. Good pull. Cool. Yeah, not too bad. All right. So they're on the Reinhardt. You guys are on Zarya. I just want to go over this real quick. So, because every hero kind of plays differently depending on the matchups, and I do think it is important to go over what happens when they switch heroes like this. So we went from playing like a much more I don't say aggressive, but more deathmatchy, you know, with the dive and everything, responding to that. Now that they're running the Rein and you have a Zarya that has a little bit of range, you're going to play, I would say, in my opinion, much slower here. You're probably going to help out your Zarya a little bit. and especially just damaging that shield with your Zarya. Reinhardt is kind of one of those heroes that if he's not able to catch up to your team and actually close that distance with his shield or charge, that he's just not going to get any value. And really, that's all you got to focus on, is just making sure that he doesn't get any value. And then you guys will win those fights. So I like what you're doing right here. You're playing with your Zarya. Your Zarya's keeping the distance for the most part from the Reinhardt. And we're just playing this slow. All you got to do is burst down that shield. You're good to go. Good fade. Yeah, careful about crossing here.
A taste of poison. Where we start.
All right, Coalescence coming up. I always recommend anytime that you, like for any hero really, the moment your like ult is getting close, you want to be starting to think about how you're going to use it. So I'd be using tab. Don't use it defensively for like a certain enemy ult. Don't use it aggressively to combo with another ult. So like we've got Soldier Visor coming up, but Soldier doesn't have Visor ready to go. So let's just look at this real quick. We use an ult by itself, which is fine, but they're not really like super out of position to get much value on this. And our Soldier Visor is not really ready to go. So I don't know if we're gonna, it's just not enough pressure here. I assume that we're probably, there's not much we're gonna do. Obviously he matches it with the Life Weaver tree, which is going to help them out with that. But I think even without the tree, this team probably would have been fine, especially if the Rein just played passive in the choke. This is kind of one of those ults that like, we talk about it. It's like, you gotta drop the ult when the enemy team is like extended, like overextended, or like, currently in the fight, like during the engagement. And we see this right here is like, there's not really like, there's kind of an engagement starting, which I guess you could say that, and with the pool and everything, but it's like dropping this Coalescence right here. It doesn't really make them have to play into it because they've got so many corners to play around. And we see them kind of do that here during this fight too. Like we drop that Coalescence on their backline. And it's just like nobody's low HP, nobody's critical. They've got a big choke that they can play through. If this Rein is smart, he just backs up and plays with his team. And there's just not that much pressure. And that's kind of the reason I was saying you need to make sure that if you're going to Cole, that it's either defensively or like you're actually going to be able to like secure something with it. And without Visor, at least Visor there, for you to take the pressure off your Soldier so he can get eliminations with your Cole. I don't really see this doing much. And you can see even when he drops the tree, like the only person who's low right now is the Rein, and the Rein doesn't even play in the tree and he lives. Yeah, man. Like he's fine. So, and then they drop the Reaper ult behind. It's just kind of like one of those ults that like, there was no reason, there was no indicator that said, okay, you need to Cole now. It was just like, all right, I'm going to Cole right now and we're going to see what happens. That's kind of what it felt like, which is, it was just like, yeah, okay, we'll Cole now, you know? And really with every Overwatch hero, like every hero is different, obviously, when you're going to get value with ults for what situations, but there's got to be a clear reason you ult in certain scenarios, or else you're not setting yourself up for success with that. And that ult just kind of seemed like an ult that was just like, nah, I'll just throw it out now, you know? So yeah, so Nerdy says, I was anticipating my Soldier to pop ult, so I was willing to use Cole to pocket him, but then he didn't. The problem is you Cole before he had Visor, and if you don't do it at the same time, you're essentially just telling the enemy team, hey, back up. Like if you pop Cole, like they're not going to play aggressively, and you want them to play aggressively because you have Visor. You want them to be out of position for that Visor. So if you're going to pop Coalescence, it needs to be at the same time as Visor, or else they're going to back up, and then your Soldier's going to get Visor, and then he's going to pop Visor, and then they're already going to be behind cover because you were popping your ult. So you see what I'm kind of saying is like it's got to be intentional, which is why like in those moments I'd probably just go off of my Soldier. You know, I'd wait for him to pop his ultimate because he's the one who's definitely got to be more in position. You as Moira, you can be wherever like and get value with Coalescence. You can be standing in front of the enemy team as long as they're not killing you. You're getting value with it. Soldier, on the other hand, he's using a visor into a Reinhardt. So he definitely 100% has to be in position and ready to do it. So I would just wait for him to pop visor and then use Cole at that point. Like that's my like bing, like all right, Coalescence time. Yeah. That's what I've been noticing about people a lot more lately is that it's okay to like not ults don't have to be, I don't know, people panic ult too much is what I notice a lot. They feel like they have to like hit the perfect ult, or it's like if they don't ult now, like it's not going to be good. Like there's very clear indicators in Overwatch of when to use an ult, and like you're most likely going to get a good value on it. Like, and let me go over it like real quick because I do think it's kind of important to talk about them. I feel like I've never really talked about this. Is like, let's just call them indicators. All right, so like indicators of like when to use an ult. There are things that like, these are the things that you're thinking about before you ult, right? And this can go for anything. This can go for like abilities too. It doesn't have to just be ult, but like we're just gonna make it easy and just say it's for ultimates. Chat, pick any hero. Pick any hero, because if I pick a hero, I'm just gonna pick like the easy ones to explain, like Zarya or like Ana or something. Right. All right, Reinhardt. Indicators for Reinhardt. So let's just say we're looking at Slam. All right, so Rein Slam, and we need to know big indicators. So like, let's see. So my indicators for Rein. I'm just trying to. Let's pick up like a pretty standard comp right now, which would be like, so the enemy team's running Sig, probably Zen, Sojourn, Mercy, I don't know, Soldier. All right, so indicators of like things that will tell me that I probably should use my ultimate. And actually, if you guys want to take a second before I like list, I'm just gonna list like 4 big ones. All right, if you guys want to take some guesses on what like big indicators for like when to use Rein Slam, number 1 for me would be Sig Shield. All right, so Sig Shield is probably the big one. That's the one that's glaring me in the face as a Rein player. I need to make sure that like Sig Shield is down or extremely low, or it's in between cooldown. Like he just recalled it and I have a second to hit Slam, right? That's a big like ding, ding, ding. And he's close enough, right? So Sig Shield is going to be out of the equation and he's close enough. That's like an indicator for me to use Slam. Like outside of that, I'm just waiting. Like I'm waiting as Rein. I'm waiting to use Slam. That's the big one. Number 2 is things that can counter my ult with their own ults or abilities. Big ones obviously would be Zen and Mercy with Res. So like Zen Trance. So let's just call them like counter ults or counters. All right. So counters is like Zen Trance and Mercy Res. So probably the big one, obviously like the thing that's looking at me at the moment would be Zen Transcendence. So I need to make sure that if I slam something, I can kill it before Transcendence goes off, or it's something I can kill with my charge. So it's like if I slam this and charge it, I'll kill them even through trance. So that will tell me that I need to make sure I slam that target. Or if Zen's pushed up enough and I have an opportunity to, just make sure I slam Zen so he can't use his Transcendence during it. So that's something. Or Transcendence is down. These are all things that like I would be like consider like big indicators. And then obviously once that happens, I need to sit on that Mercy Res, right? So these are all things that are like I'm worrying about as a Rein player, right? Zen Trance, Mercy Res, Sig Shield so far. Soldier, I'm most likely not going to be able to get because they usually play too far away for Rein to engage on, unless you charge at him, right? And catch him off guard in your swing, be able to catch up. Sojourn's kind of the same way. So these 2 heroes, I probably not going to factor into my Shatter too much. If I can hit him with the Shatter, that's great. But if not, you know, it's whatever. So Sig Shield, counters. I'd probably be looking at positioning. So if I Shatter right now, is it going to be easy for them to back around a corner before they get shattered? Or if I do shatter them, is it going to be easy to push up into him? So like, for example, when we were looking at that last fight with the Moira Cole, if I Coalescence, am I going to be forcing them to play in a bad position? And with our team not really pushing up into them at the current moment, they've got all the corners to play behind. They've got plenty of, like, we're not in a position, we're at lower ground than they are. We have to push up that hill to get into them. We're not really in a position to capitalize on that pressure. So like positioning is going to be a really important thing too. Are they all playing around corners? Is it like is it going to be hard to like hit a shatter when they're all playing corners, good positioning, or are they out in like the open where it's going to be really easy? Super important to look at that too. And honestly, I don't even think at that point I wouldn't be thinking about anything else. Like these alone, like these would probably be the ones. Team bunched up, yeah, but like that comes back to the you don't need 5 people. You don't need 5 eliminations to win a fight. You need either 1 really good elimination or 2 at the most. If you get 2 elims with your ultimate, you're good. So that's why, like, I don't want that to... Way too many people wait and factor that into a lot of ultimates. Like Zarya. Like, when people are always waiting for big grabs, it's like, dude, you don't need a big grab. Honestly, a lot of times you don't want a big grab. You don't want 5 people together that can each support each other inside of the grab. Like if they're running a Reinhardt, I don't want to grab that Reinhardt if he's got full shield. You know, I'd rather grab the 2 supports and then melt the 2 supports without the Rein shield there, right? Shatter can be the same thing. I just need to make sure I shatter the right stuff. Because if you're going to wait for all 5 of these, if you're waiting for like a bunch of them to like stack up before you shatter, you're going to be waiting all day, dude. When in reality, all you really do is maybe you have to shatter these 2. Like maybe you just need to shatter Sig and Zen, right? Kill the Zen, and then Sig will probably be low enough you can finish it up with swinging, and then just make sure to sit on the Zen so Mercy can't res it. Boom. Just like that, it's a 5v3 with a Mercy and a Soldier and a Sojourn. They're not going to win that fight, right? So like that's what I mean is like these indicators. Like, okay, did the Sig shield just go down? Did I hear it break? Okay, I might be able to shatter right now. Okay. Does their Zen have trance? If he does, okay, just got to make sure I hit the Zen with it as well. It's like, it's that quick, and it's things you think about before this happens. So it's like you don't have to waste time thinking about it in the moment. 6 shields down. Do they have trance? Yes. Okay, I just got to make sure I hit the Zen. All right, let's go. Boom, shatter. Hit, ba 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 ba. Hit those 2. All right. If he doesn't have trance, great. I can just solo shatter the Sig. And then just charge him and kill him, and then make sure Mercy doesn't res him. If Sig's out of the fight, this team's probably not going to win a 5v4. As long as she doesn't get res off. Like it's that simple. And these are like the big, when I say indicators, this is what I mean. It's like, these are the things I've already thought about. I need to make sure Sig shields down. Transcendence is an issue. And like, just make sure they don't have corners to play around. If like 2 of these match up, honestly, and I can get somebody shattered in them, and great, good to go. Send it, you know. But that's like it seems like a lot of work, and I know I'm kind of over explaining it a little bit, but it's not a lot of work when you do it beforehand. And let me kind of show you what that looks like as we're watching this right now. So like we're playing right now. I'm doing damage, I'm doing damage, yada yada yada. Okay, and now I realize, oh, I'm 81 to ult. Like, I'm probably going to get my Moira like, during this next fight. All right? So what do I need to make sure of? All right, so while I'm playing this, what do I need to make sure of on the other team? All right, 1, I don't know if Rein has Shatter. I need to make sure that I'm not close to Rein or, like, in his range of Shatter. Because if Rein shatters me, which he will, it'll cancel my Coalescence, right? So I either need to make sure I'm out of range of it while I'm coalescing, or I'm ready to fade and I'm actively paying attention to when, like, if he's going to shatter, to use my fade so I don't get my coalescence canceled. Soldier ult, maybe window. If I'm going to use it defensively, I can either use it to counter the enemy Moira ult. So she ults, then I ult to make sure I have the sustain for my team during that fight. You can do the same thing with Baptiste window. If he windows, I coal. Simple as that. So it at least gives my team the sustain to either play aggressively or defensively, depending on how they want to play. So probably in this scenario, your best option with Coalescence is to use it econ wise. So I either use it to counter these. I need to be wary of Rein Shatter, and I need to be aware of what are some good counters to do it with. Soldier Visor, because they have a Reinhardt. It'd be kind of hard to get good value, but if he's going to send it and you have Cole, it's not a bad idea to do it. Genji Blade, very good. Genji Blade, very good to combo with. And Orisa, pretty good to combo with because you can damage the people that gets pulled in. They all get grouped up, right? And you can damage while she's doing that and sustain your Orisa at the same time so she doesn't get absolutely blasted while she's using her ultimate. So these are big things. Did my Genji just Blade and I have Coalescence? This is an okay time to use Coalescence. Is my Orisa ulting and I have Coalescence? This is an okay time to use Coalescence. Did they just drop Window? Did they just drop Window? We're in a 5v5 and we need sustain. This is a good time to use Coalescence. Did Moira just ult? This is a good time to counter it and use Coalescence. Is their Reinhardt severely out of position and he has no charge? This is a good time to use Coalescence. You see what I mean? So these are what I mean is like indicators. Like you have to have a reason behind why you're doing it. Okay. Chad, does that make sense? I know I over explained it, but trying to make it very clear. Like these are the things you need to think about. Boom, like that. So that just met 2 of our indicators right there. Orisa ulted, bing, and Moira Coalescence. And they windowed. Boom, 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 boom. Obviously, this is the time you want to drop Coalescence. We get absolutely demolished by Ashe, but can't really predict that. So these are what I mean by indicators. It sounds more complicated than it is. You just have to have a reason for it. Why are you coalescing there? Do you use Cole like Valk? Yeah, I do. Yeah, Coalescence. Coalescence is a little it's a little different, but mainly yeah, Coalescence, Mercy Valk, and Kitsune Rush and Window are all kind of used relatively the same, and it's all about timing, right? Those ults are all about timing, because if you do them too early they can just rotate out of it. Do it too late, they're already mid-engagement, they probably already have too much pressure on your team and they'll get an elimination. So it's all about timing.
Receive my aid.
Yeah. Good fade. Love that. Love that you knew exactly what your out was there too. Right when he popped that, you faded right into that room. It was great.
Life protects life.
All right, I don't think I need to say anything about this fade. Yup. Hold on. Next to Castle, which ult is the worst in the game? Can I say May ult? Can I say Freeze? Honestly, no. Valk's probably worse. Valk is probably worse than May Freeze. Oh, Widow ult. Yeah. Hell yeah. No, Hank's 100% right. Yeah, no, 100% Widow ult. Okay. Yeah, I got no problem with this. Mid fight, last fight. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're healing the enemy. Cool. Yeah, questionable fade. Honestly, I think even though I didn't talk about it too much, your biggest issues that I'm seeing right now are your positioning. Sometimes you do good positioning, but then like the moment you get pressured, like I feel like you just forget how to position yourself. As Moira, you have fade, you can always create distance. You're never really aware of how close you are to the people that are shooting you, and it's super easy for them to catch you. And then outside of that, we just use a lot of heals. So I don't think we ran out of heals there. It's just kind of a habit that you have. And I didn't see you. I wouldn't really say you had bad coalescences. There's just a couple times where you were caught just like wasting it. Which again isn't terrible because you get it so quickly as Moira.